Cool.
So, all right. Welcome to the Crash Podcast, episode number 5. I got a dude who actually we met on the internet because we're in the same scene, same realm, same kind of genre of things. We're both sober dads. He started commenting on my stuff. I started commenting on his. He goes by the name of Sober Dad Nick, and we got into a little bit more conversation and realized that we have the same birthday. So beyond coincidence, we're both sober dads. I was like, I got to get this dude on the podcast and hear his story. So with that introduction, I honestly don't know a huge amount about you. Nick Heitmann, please introduce yourself.
Hey, man, it's good to finally sit down face to face and meet you. Appreciate you having me on. I'm excited. Nick Heitmann from San Fernando Valley, LA, California area. 35. I've been in the film film entertainment industry since I was 18. So I think that's about 17 years. And yeah, I'm sober 4 years. It'll be 4 years on the 5th of this month, actually, 4 years. And I got 4 kids. My wife, who's a nurse, still rocking with me after all the horrible things I've put her through. We just welcomed our 4th child back in September. So yeah, thank you. So we got I thought we were done after 3, but as destiny would have it, we had another boy. So we have 2 girls, 2 boys, and I might have to call upon the science and yeah, exactly. Get that.
I've thought about that myself. I mean, I figured I used to want 3, and now we have 2, and I'm like, I think I'm done with 2. I don't want to be outnumbered. Yeah. Obviously, you have that, but now that my daughter's 2, my son's almost 4, it's like, I mean, I'm not gonna try, but if it happens,
it happens. Yeah. That's how we were with the 3rd, and then funny stories. Like we finally decided this was 2.5 years sober. We decided that we wanted to try for a 4th because I don't know. We just had a weird, like, not weird, but we just had a feeling that we wanted to have another one. And so we were trying, and then it didn't happen. So we were like, okay, cool. Like, this isn't, like, God's like, obviously it's not in the cards for us anymore. Like, we should. So we kind of came to our senses, and we were like, you know what? That was crazy. We shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't, like, we have, it's too much. And then Christmas, 2 Christmases ago, lo and behold, it happened. So, and here we are, so.
Hey, man, blessings come when we least expect it.
It's a big blessing. My sponsor tells me, and it's a good reminder. He's like, dude, you don't know how lucky and how rich you are, Nick. Like, when you're old and, you got all your kids and your grandkids, like, you're one lucky, because he's it's like 36 years sober. He's an older gentleman, and he's up in age, and it's just him right now, him and his dogs. And so it's like, it means a lot when he tells me that, because it kind of puts everything into perspective. So yeah, so super blessed, grateful.
Awesome. All right, well, the Crash Podcast is for those. I love chopping it up with people who have been through that crash, who have seen life go downhill and hit a wall, and then through either a few stumbles or without, they have found help and dug themselves out of it. Mm-hmm. So let's start off. Where was, like, your earliest memories of either addictive tendencies prior to drugs and alcohol, or the beginning of drugs and alcohol? How did it all start, dude?
So I'm 50% German Irish, and then my other half is Salvadorian. But my mom, when she came here, she came to the States when she was 8 years old with my grandmother, and my grandmother remarried a Colombian gentleman, and that's the grandfather that I knew and that I grew up with. So we didn't have any Salvadorian family here. We grew up with a Colombian family, and like parties, whatever, any celebration, anything, holidays, it's drinking and cumbia music, like dancing, salsa,
Las
barbecues,
cumbias.
and yeah. So it's nothing but that, and that to me, growing up, it's like a normal thing. It's like
Yeah.
that's what we do. And sad times, funerals, like we're drinking. Like a lot of my cousins were gang affiliated, and so I also had that aspect of it too. So it was kind of like a normal thing, drinking, and at home, my parents were drinkers as well. Not to the point where like how I was later on, but they would drink regularly on the weekends, and it was just a typical, like it was the norm for me growing up. So
Yeah.
my first experience with drinking was a bottle of Arbor Mist, I think it's called, or Harbor Mist. It's like a wine cooler type,
I
like,
think I remember that.
but it's a big bottle, so it's like a fancier wine cooler, I guess. And I must have
I
been 10 or
think
11, and I've shared this before. Is I took a sip of it, and it totally like was like a euphoric, like, body kind of high, and I loved it. And so then, like, later on down the line, like trips, sleepovers at grandma's house. I had an aunt who was older, and there was those Jack Daniels wine coolers there, and I was like, oh,
mm-hmm.
pretty
I remember
colors,
those.
like pretty colors. So I'd try that, and the same effect. This time I was like chugging a whole one of those things. So I kind of had that like feel, and I was like, oh, since the family does it, I see why they indulge and why they do it
Yeah.
at a very young age. You can connect those dots. Then fast forward to high school. I'm playing basketball. Um, I just made the varsity team. I'm hanging out with the varsity guys, and it's a summer that we go to a bonfire, and one of like the hangarounds of the team brought a bottle of Jose Cuervo. And from what I see in the movies and like all the shit, it's like this is what we do. Society kind of like paints this like picture of like what's cool, and that's what you do as young high school kids. You drink, right? So I partook, and I got totally plastered and made a mess of myself. The basketball guys had to take me back home, drop me off at my dad's. My parents were separated at the time, and which I think later on as I got older, that played a pretty big role in just kind of like my makeup mentally. I think I was missing a lot of stuff that I didn't realize until I was an adult, and as a parent. But anyway, I got to my dad's house. We were living with him, and he was having a fucking poker night with all his buddies from work. So I come in all messed up and making a mess, and just like totally, just making a fool, in trouble, making my dad look bad. So I was grounded for a couple months, and then
Oof.
and then that episodes like that just started happening where I'd come home either messed up, sneak into the house. My dad was working nights. My mom was living, a couple miles away. So I really didn't have like a parental like chaperone, I would say, like in the times that I really needed it. And I
Yeah.
was going through a really bad breakup. It was like a middle school sweetheart woman that I thought like we dated in middle school, and then we dated at the end of high school, and we had broken up. And she was this is the person I thought like I was spending the rest of my life with. So it was pretty hard on me. So I had wait, I'm jumping too forward right now. So there's a high school sweetheart
You good?
that I
All right.
broke up with. Yeah, that one was kind of bad. So I jumped into drinking, and more episodes of those drinking times came. I think one time I somebody told my dad that I had took a pill, and I blacked out. I got woken up to paramedics and firefighters in my dad's room coming out of the shower. They were resuscitating me. And so like there was those signs, right? So I get out of high
Yeah.
school, and like I don't know, like friends and even my dad at times would like convince me like, like this was like summer after high school. Like he would convince me that like, and it's not to fault him or anything, but like, oh, your friends are off in college and going to college, and like, you're doing your thing and having fun. I get it, but you need to stop. And as a parent, it's you don't know if you've never been involved in the addiction or
Yep.
or around it. It's like I wouldn't know how to navigate that and how to help my son or my daughter. So he was doing the best he could, and that's what I realized as an adult. It's like my parents, from parenting to anything. It's like there's no blueprint to this thing. So it's like they're doing the best they can. So
Yup.
I'm going to college, and I'm doing the community college. I'm playing basketball. I stopped playing basketball, and I'm with this girl. Finally, the girl that I was saying earlier is like the person I was supposed to be with for the rest of my life. Like we dated in middle school, all throughout middle school, broke up, went to different high schools, and then met back in senior year. So I stopped playing basketball. My head was up her ass. I got a summertime job in the studios, and being 18, making back then in 2008, like making $18 an hour, like I was making more money than all my friends at that time. I was working, it was a union
That was
job.
good money back then.
Yeah, it was good money back then. So, I, being around, all these other adults and being the young guy, it's like my ego started just growing and growing. I bought my first truck, um, all that stuff. So then, the drinking started kicking off. Like as soon as I hit 21, like drinking was like an everyday, not an everyday thing, but it took off. Like I had the money, had the beautiful girl. Um, you know, I thought, this is again, ego so freaking big. I couldn't get it through the door. And, so we finally decided we were going to buy a house. And my buddy that I played basketball with in high school was a realtor at the time. I hired him to be our realtor. We were having some issues, but I didn't really think it was that big a deal, me and the girl. And my drinking just started getting kind of out of hand. I was just being disrespectful, rude, and anyway, I pushed her as far as I could, and my buddy, the realtor, and her ended up hooking up and getting together.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so that like if I if there were signs that my drinking was bad prior to that, that like set me off onto a trajectory of just like chaos and self destruction. I got introduced to
Yep.
coke after that. I got introduced to like meth. I tried meth one time, just like snorting meth. There was just a whole lot of shit, and barely hanging on to this studio job. Like I ended up going to an office, like the office show rap party, like the season finale, or not season, but
Yeah.
like show finale ending party, rap party. And it was an open bar. And like before I went there, my dad told me, he's like, look, it's an open bar. You're still representing the company. Like, don't go over there and fucking make a mess of things. Like, I get it. Just fucking behave. What do? I fucking get plastered. I tell a line producer, like an executive line producer, like I told him, I disrespected the fuck out of him. There
Oh.
was a executive producer whose wife I started dancing with. I took my shirt off. I fucking there.
Nice.
During one part of the party before I got kicked out of the whole fucking party, um, they were doing a montage like of all the seasons, like just like, hey, this is the end of The Office, like never again. Like here's the montage, like 10-minute reel of everything. And there's a picture, like a background photo booth thing that you hang up and take selfies and shit. Well,
Yeah.
it's all quiet. Everyone's watching it. The entire venue is watching it. And I just crash into it and fall back and make this loud noise, and the thing falls down. And so I got escorted out of there. I got kicked out. It was really bad. So anyway, somebody took videos of that.
Damn.
Somebody took videos of all that, and it got back to the studio, and it went up the ladder, and I had to get the union involved, and we had lawyers come, and like
Ooh.
they were just like defending me. And anyway, I ended up getting laid off from that job, like later down, and and so that was that. Not that it was a direct result of the drinking issue, but it was said that like, oh, in the summertime they laid me off and it's for work. So that for me, like in my addiction, I'm thinking, oh, see, it's not my fault. It's not the drinking that caused that.
Yep.
It wasn't the drinking.
Oh, it's just
It
slow.
was it was just slow. It was the summertime. I got laid off, so like no real consequences. And I feel like I didn't have those consequences until like I really, really had shit that worth losing. So I never learned my lesson really. It was just like my dad had that saying, Nick, you step in shit coming out smelling like roses every fucking time. So he's like, of course you're not going to learn. And I get it now, so,
Oh yeah.
and again, like
It was always everything else.
it was never me. It was like
Yep.
these three fingers that are pointing back at me. No, no, no. I had all the fingers like this. So, I
Yeah.
just I never learned my fucking lesson. And even with the the infidelity from the girlfriend prior or during that time, like I was blaming her, the whole time, and I was blaming my buddy. It's like never
Yep.
once did I say like, well, fuck, if I didn't, push her away from all my drinking
Hmm.
and my stupidness, like maybe I wouldn't have been in that situation. So I never had accountability. Again, my ego was just so big, and so I don't fault her. I totally like forgive her, and I forgive him, and like earlier on when I was still trying to get it together, I'd still be a creep and like kind of stalk, social media and like see what they're doing. And, it's like
Yeah.
they're married and have kids and they're happy. And it's like now today, like I can sit back and be like, well, something good came out of it. At least there's happiness and,
Yeah.
so, so during that time between that studio and the next major studio, I'll just say it like that was Universal Studios I was at. And then, um,
Okay.
so there was that time between there. I met my wife now, and we had some issues earlier on. That she had just had a kid, and she was saying like she wasn't with this guy no more, and come to find out she really was. So that was like
Oof.
another fucking thing of like, fuck, Nick, like you keep picking
Yep.
like the right ones, like so. Again, jumped right back down the bottle
Yeah,
after
I
the
had a string of that for a minute.
yeah. So I jumped right back down the bottle, and then it was like again, like after that, it was like fuck women. Like I'm just gonna, I'm gonna try to work and just, f the whole world. Like I'll date women, I'll get whatever I need from them, and that's it. Like I'm not, and that's really what it was. It was, and looking back, it's like I've hurt a lot of people through those behaviors, and I feel so horrible. And there's a few that I've been able to make amends to, but it's just like I don't recommend anyone who hasn't healed from anything before like heal from your shit first before you move on, like or try to move on. So
Oh
um
yeah, it definitely takes us a few times of learning that the hard
yeah,
way.
yeah, big time. And so we didn't talk for a while, and then she finally came back around and was like, hey, this is everything. Full disclosure, this is how it went down. I'm sorry. And during that time, like she was the only person that like for me, and again, I should have just healed myself and made myself okay and be okay with me. She I used her and the feelings she gave me as like my reason for like, okay, this is where I'm gonna try again. And she makes me feel so much better, and I don't feel this fucking emptiness, heartbreak anymore when I'm with her. And so that was the start of our relationship to this day. And
How'd you meet her? I'm curious.
so we went to high school together, but we never
Okay.
talked in high school. She had seen me at the gym, and then she messaged me on MySpace when MySpace was still a thing.
Yeah.
And I was still with the girl that I thought was it for me, my middle school sweetheart. I was like, sorry, I'm with this person, and I saw you at school and I thought you were cool, but I was just like, we just never had a chance. Um, so that's how that ended up happening. So we go on and we start dating, and again, like I still am carrying all this baggage from years prior up until
Mm-hmm.
21, 22.
Yeah.
I had already had at this point one DUI, and so I got with her, my wife now. Um, we dated maybe 6 months before she got pregnant. So once she got pregnant, it was like, oh shit, like it's like now it's serious. So
Yeah.
um, we got an
So
apartment. Go ahead.
hold up. You got a DUI. There's got to be some sort of a story there.
So the DUI came like before I got fired from Universal. Like, and again, I'm not. I guess I leave this part out. Sometimes this is like only the third time I've really told my story. I've told it in front of like a men's stag. I've told it on another podcast, and this is the third time really. So
All right.
um,
I want to hear the dirt. This is the point. This is the crash. And then we dig deep and then you bring it out.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate that. So at Universal again, like I'm the young guy and around a lot of older women. And mind you, I'm still dating the middle school sweetheart.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing in hindsight, but when you're in a relationship, in a committed relationship, and you're not mature enough to handle that attention, and and then you mix in drinking, it's all a bad recipe. So,
yep.
So I was getting a lot of attention from the older women on the studio lot, and there was one in particular that like we finally took it to another level. And I had been going to her house and like hooking up with her, and then one night I got there and I got fucked up, and I was trying to drive back home to my girlfriend's house, and I guess I fucking fell asleep or something, and my truck wasn't even a year old at this time. It was brand new Nissan Titan. Ooh. Fell asleep, and there's a wall. The scene is actually kind of funny because are you familiar with the show Sons of Anarchy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you know where Gemma drops off her grandfather at the retirement home?
I'd have to watch it again, but
Gemma takes her father, who's like suffering from Alzheimer's. And he can't really remember shit, and she drops him off at this old retirement home. Where they film that, there's a wall in the parking lot that leads to the parking. Like, so from the street, there's a wall like this that goes this way. I fell asleep and I just drifted straight head on into that wall. So my whole truck like crumbled in. Even the tow truck guy and the cops like, I don't even know how you're alive. Like, you should have died, because the cab like came crushed in, and I barely got out. And I was fine. No scratches, no nothing. So I took the trip down. Your body's
so relaxed.
Yeah. That's what I tell everybody. It's like our bodies aren't all tense and everything. That's why it always happens. Yeah. So I took the trip to the county, and I did that, and I talked my way out of the infidelity thing somehow. Like, I left work and I was going the long way back to your house, and so the cheating stuff never came to light up until later. She had saw some text messages, but so that was the first one. That was at 18, and again, like getting court ordered into an AA meeting, I'm like, oh, you guys are fucking weird. Like, yeah.
Yep.
Like, it's like one guy, and it's funny because when I finally was willing to like listen to what was going on in the meetings, the same dude that like reached out to me in AA Zoom, because it was during COVID, was the same guy that pulled me aside and like tried to give me the whole questionnaire, like questionnaire if you're an alcoholic or something. So, and he offered to buy me a big book, everything. So and it was crazy because it was like, dude, I know you look familiar. I know you from somewhere. And this is probably like 15 years, almost like, 12 or 13 years later. So it was really, really creepy. Like just how, just like the otter God situation, like to go from like a little snot-nosed 18-year-old, and then here I am like, oh, you're still here, and maybe I should have listened back then. So that was the first DUI.
Yeah, it takes what it takes, though.
No, for sure. I hate that it did, but I'm grateful today. Thank God that we made it through. But
so I tried several times throughout the years, starting mid-20s or something, and then on my, technically it would have been my third DUI, but the second one got dropped because I was under the legal limit.
Okay.
They pulled me over, gave me a breathalyzer, blah, blah, blah. And then they suspended my license, blah, blah, blah. And I get a letter 6 months later that says all charges are dropped. Your BAC came back as a 0.08 because they made me pee in a cup at the courthouse.
Okay.
So anyway, my third one, lucky, effectively didn't teach me any lessons that time. And that was the funny thing is my second one was the day of court for my first one. So I got out of court and then I went out and hung out with my buddies.
That's a true alcoholic. I love it.
You know it. So it would have been my third one that I got the book thrown at me for a bit, and this was 2 in Minnesota and 1 in Vegas. And then so they gave me 18 months house arrest, scram bracelet.
Oh wow.
And then during house arrest I got 2 jobs, so I had to stay out of the house. I had a crazy girlfriend. Anyway, so I got this one guy who was a sponsor. I went to the meetings and I was like, I'm Bjorn, I don't care. I'm undecided. Like, fuck you guys. I have to be here, so I'm going to be dead honest. The funny thing is, that's what got me started and actually being honest with myself. Because I was like, judge me all you want. Fuck you. I'm here. I'm undecided. So anyway, a couple months into that, I ended up getting a sponsor and like actually buying in. So 18 months on a court card, and then I got off and I started dating this girl. And then, I can smoke some weed. And then a couple days later, I can have a beer. Within 6 months, I was drinking a bottle a day again. And I had lost touch with my sponsor, and I called him after I just gave up, crying at the bus stop, about to go to work. And I was like, I can't live like this anymore. And he goes, I hope it fucking hurts enough this time. And he's still my sponsor to this day.
That's awesome. That's
So
awesome.
I just talked to him 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's like the same. I've had the exact same experience with my shit. Like, that's awesome.
It's
takes what it takes, like you said,
100%.
Like, until we get fucking beat up enough to where it's like, I'm over it.
Tried it for a job, didn't work. Tried it for a girl, didn't work. Tried it for outside reasons, didn't work. And then finally, when I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to be honest, and I give up. It worked.
It's I know I always hear some people say like kicking in, like I got dragged in here kicking and screaming, and it's like, metaphorically, like I totally relate, because it's like I tried every other which way not to go to AA, all the different solutions, only beer, only on the weekends, and it's, nothing fucking worked. Nothing worked. So, but yeah, like, so I said we had the kid, right? With my wife. Yeah.
You were pregnant. That was what she was pregnant.
Yeah. So she was pregnant. I had just got a job with Disney. So I was back to making like way more money than I made, at Universal. And, so we moved into this apartment, and we had the baby. We had her daughter from her previous relationship come over on the weekends, and so we were doing that. And then I got a promotion, and the drinking was like, it seemed like it was kind of getting a little bit under control, and so I think it was more tolerable. I think at that time is what I should probably say, from like my wife and friends and family. So then we got pregnant with our son, and like a couple months before he came, or like a month or two after he was here, finally, we bought our first house, and that was in 2016. And so we moved in, and things were good. But again, like the whole ego thing kicked in right away. Beautiful wife, 2 kids. I got my son. I just bought a house at 26 years old. Like I'm back. I bought a new truck. Like, this is great. A buddy of mine got out of prison, and he was dabbling in the dry goods, like distribution, salesman area. So I was getting hooked up that way. So I put him in contact with one of my coworkers there at the studio, and like, so nights, I got moved to nights. And then once that happened, like all bets were off. Like work, like nighttime, I had a coworker who was down. He liked to party. We would drink, party, do some work, and then get out of there and like either go to a poker house that he knew of, or we'd go to Commerce Casino and go play poker all night. So it was just like fucking debauchery, and poor fucking wife of mine, like just at home, not knowing where I'm at, mind fucking herself, my phone's off, all that. And, I just, like when you're in it, you're not even, obviously we're thinking about ourselves, like selfish and
Yep.
self-centered. I'm like, and now when
100%.
I think about it today, and I just cringe thinking about that because, you know, I mean, I got my karma that came back later on, but you know, it's like when you don't know, you don't know. So it's like I was putting her through the ringer. So I got another DUI during that time. That one was, I think I was leaving the studio. I was fucking coked out, drunk. That was like nonchalant, like cops saw me swerving, pulled me over, took me, got that. Talked myself out of that with the wife, like, hey, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Um, so then the third one came around,
Oof.
and by this time, um, she was pregnant with our third child. So we got, so yeah, so second DUI came. Um, Second DUI came, got out of that. Work started deteriorating. I went, the thing that broke the camel's back at Disney. I showed up drunk and coked out, and uh, it was a swing shift, so it was like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and everyone's still in the office. Well, there's an older lady there who's
Yep.
like the secretary of one. He said, "Yep, yeah, Nick and the older women." So like so I at other company parties, like she's talked to me and we've talked and like it was nothing. But then so me drunk and on another level, like I thought like, oh yeah, we can still flirt and be like cute with each other. I go over there, I'm flirting with her, and it's in like the bullpen where like there's other cubicles and other people, other executives around. I'm trying to give her a massage and all this shit and just
Oh.
just like total ugh. And so another woman there got offended, emailed HR. Long story short, I got fired, like actually fired. They did a whole investigation, like checked cameras, saw that me and two other coworkers were like, you know, drinking, and then there, you know, the rumor that there was drug paraphernalia at the workplace came in, and
Ooh.
so I ended up getting fired from that. Um, we eventually lost the house because I was sole provider. So we had to sell the house. We're back in an apartment. Our third child's here now at this point.
Ooh.
So we have three kids, all under 5 years old, and um, and then so I get a third DUI now, and and during that time while we were at the apartment, I was still doing the same shit. I had got another job at a smaller studio, working nights, so I was still fucking out running and gunning at night when I could, and still trying to like come home, sleep a little bit during the day, just like nonstop chaos, like just
Yep.
constantly chasing my tail. Um, I was trying to get back to my dad's, which was like 30 minutes away from where we were staying at the apartment. And I fell asleep in the car, like right around the
Hmm.
corner. So I wasn't even driving when I got the third one. Um, it was fucking,
Same here.
yeah, it was, it was just the cop came and fucking knocked on the door. Um, so after the third one, well, okay, so this is where I get fucked up on my story. So prior to the third one, I had totaled my truck again, the second truck. I had totaled that. Yeah. It was like and I got to find the person and try to figure out how to make amends eventually. Because I ran from that one and nothing ever came of it. There was an investigation, I guess, and they sent an email, and this was like back then, and I emailed back to LAPD, and nothing ever came of it. But then when they picked me up on the third DUI, they were like, "Oh, Nicholas Heitmann, like, hey, didn't you get into an accident recently?" And I'm like, "No." I was like, I had reported that truck stolen, you know, and so nothing came of that. Got the third one. Um, so I didn't go to court for the third one. So I had a warrant out for the third, and then I get picked up on a fourth DUI.
Oh,
Now the fourth,
son.
yeah. Now the fourth DUI was like, uh, again, I was like talking to the jailer, like, "Hey, am I gonna get out tonight or tomorrow?" And she was just like, "Sweetie, you got four DUIs. Like, you're not going home for a while." And so I had just got my tax return money. So my wife had the tax return money again. I was sole provider again. Um, So I took the time for the third, and then they charged me for the fourth. So I ended up getting like 18 months
Oof.
LA County jail time. So um, essentially, I should have been in there for 18 months, and it's a prison term because the fourth in California is an automatic felony charge. Um,
Yeah.
so it was a prison term, but it was going to be done in the county. So I was like, okay, that really sucks, having to do all that. But um, so I get into jail, and I was there a total of like 6 or 7 months, and I got the Dear John letter from the wife, and it was like, and then people were calling me and telling me that she was seeing somebody else and going, to concerts and shit. And so I thought we were done. And then closer to the end of the term, um, she reached out, and we kind of fixed things, and we agreed that like when I got out, we would try to like really do it if I can stay sober. And during that time in jail, like I ended up coming across the 12 and 12. So I was reading that a little bit, and um, working out, and just like really just like refocusing. So I get released, we get back together, things are cool. We're living at her mom's house now at this time, and it's right before COVID. In my head, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, look, I didn't drink for 6 months. Like I'm cured. Like I can do this.
Yeah.
No problem. Like I didn't get out and like start working a program. I didn't do anything, and like you, like with the marijuana, I was like, well, I can get a head change with weed. I never liked weed. I hate weed, but I was like, you know what? It's not alcohol, so I'll be good. Well, I started smoking, and then I found out that they made the THC drinks, like the weed drinks. So I was like, oh, cool.
Mhm.
I can drink weed drinks. And then I eventually, like after a couple months, I picked up again, and I kept
Yep.
bargaining, and convincing the wife like, hey, it's been so long, like I'm good, and that just snowballed, and then COVID hit, and then during COVID, like I became fucking full blown again, like drinking and all the fucking bullshit. So the one that fucking was like the final straw. I had I had got all fucked up and went on social media and like posted a story on my personal account, and like her mom saw it and was like, "Get him the fuck out of here! Like he needs to leave." So I got kicked out of that house, moved back to my dad's, and then for like a good couple, like 6 months, like we were going back and forth. Like she would come live at my dad's, and I would be living at her dad's. Mind you, we're fucking in our late 20s, like with 3 kids, and it's like we're acting like
Yeah.
fucking high school kids. So
Yep.
it was fucking absolute chaos. So when I was living back there, things started opening up. COVID was kind of like almost coming to an end, and things started opening back up, and we were just having issues. And um, we planned a family trip for my son's 5-year birthday, camping trip. All of my family, like my distant family, everybody, we went up to the Sierras, did a camping thing. Well, Nick's last hurrah fucking decides to drink all weekend instead of just
Oh.
yeah, total total idiot move. So I was just blacked out drunk like all weekend. So my uncle, my dad, my brother, they had to show my kids, like this was their first camping experience. Like I kick myself every time I think about it, because it's like, dude, that you're never gonna get that back. The first time you're taking your kids camping, and you totally just fucking went MIA. So that was the final straw for my wife. Shortly after that, like we started doing like a separation kind of thing, where like
Mm.
I'd take the kids out of the house and we'd go do stuff, and then we would come back. Then like I'd leave, or she would take the kid. Like it was just kind of like that. This one particular time, like I had a weird gut feeling. It's like something doesn't feel right. Like she's like trying extra hard to like look presentable and look good, and I was like, fuck that. Like we're leaving, and then I'm coming back. Sure enough, I came back, and there's a car parked out front. And I told the kids to stay in the car. I rushed into the house, and there's another guy there that's sitting on the couch, and they're not doing anything. They're just talking. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like I thought we were, we're trying to work on this, and and she denies it. He's just my friend. He's just my friend. So literally for 6 months, she was doing this like love triangle thing, lying to me about I'm not seeing him. He's nobody. He's just a friend. Don't worry. Like, just get sober and we'll be together. Like, so I was like, again, a little carrot, the carrot in front of the horse, like trying to get sober for her, trying to get sober to keep my family. Like, never once was like just me. So, like,
Yep.
anytime I would catch them or catch her out with him or catch her in a lie, like, right back to the bottle, like 100% right
Yep.
back to the bottle. And I was doing AA at the time, not working a perfect program,
Mm-hmm.
and again, not doing it for the right reasons. So I think
Yep.
that's where I was like way more susceptible to. I won't call them relapses because I wasn't so like I wasn't recovered, but slips. I was having all these
Yeah.
slips every time I'd catch something. So there was
Mm-hmm.
that back and forth for 6 months, and I said I couldn't take it anymore because I was either gonna fucking shoot myself or cause harm to somebody else. Like I was just like, okay, look, you're on a different trajectory. You got to go figure out your shit, and I can't keep doing this because I can't get sober. Like, uh, don't talk to me. I'm living at dad's now. Like, don't talk to me unless it's about the kids. And I consciously said like I had to forget the idea that we were gonna be together. Like, it's over. Like, I fucked it up, and I need to get sober for me and the kids right now. Like, that's it. So once I did that, like, the program came. Like, I got sober. I fucking like it. Life was starting to get better slowly, um, and like one day, like I just felt I got out of a meeting and somebody had said something, and I've shared it on social media before. Like, she said, I stopped telling God how big my problems are, and I started telling my problems how big my God was. And like that fucking just like, I don't know, it was weird. Like a spiritual awakening, whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it. I had this weight come off my chest, and I'm like on my way to the gym, and I'm just like, I'm gonna be okay. Like, it's okay. Like, if I get back with her, cool.
Yep.
If not, cool. Like, I'm gonna focus on just continuing to stay sober and be the best dad I can for these
Yep.
kids, no
You
matter what.
stopped hanging your feelings on other things and
Yeah,
started owning them and said, you know what? It's gonna be rough, but fuck it, it's gonna be me.
yeah,
And then it came.
yeah, dude. It was,
It looks different for many people, but it's essentially that's surrender, dude, and
yeah,
that's what we all need.
yeah, 100%, man. It was so, I was just so happy, and like, so it was like I just started working on myself. I got into the gym. Like, I started going 2 times a day. Making my commitments to the kids, picking them up. Mind you, during this whole time, like with the whole infidelity stuff and like all that chaos, like I had an hour and a half commute one way during the job that I was with, having to drive back an hour and a half, pick up the kids, be with them for a couple of hours, and then drop them off at her house, where her parents' house. It was just fucking hell. So I was putting in the work and I was staying consistent, and it got close to Christmas time back in like 20, it would have been 2021 Christmas, December, and she just reached out and she was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm sorry. Like, this, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, no matter what happens between us, like, you still stay sober. Like, you're still, like, we fight, or like, me and him, like, whatever, I don't care. Like, you still stay sober. And so she finally, I was like, well, look, I was like, break everything off with that guy. Like, go to therapy, like, work on you, and then like we'll talk. And then that went on for a couple more months, and then like we've slowly started dating again, and then slowly like, okay, this could work. And so we eventually got back together. I moved back in with her parents because they had built like a ADU for us when I was in doing my prison sentence. So we had the space, and so things were good. And then I got this job that I'm with now. It'll be 4 years in July, and it was back then it was fully remote, and it was like, again, God like shows up like in the right time every time for me in my life,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't remember applying for this job. I don't remember nothing. The hiring manager was like, "Hey Nick, like I got your resume here, and I was wondering, you look like you'd be a great fit for the team. Like, would you be interested in doing a interview? And I said, yeah. So I got the job, and then like a month later, she decided to go to nursing school. So it was like, fuck, I'm working from home. I'm taking the kids to school. I'm here while she goes to nursing school. And then, she was able to put herself through nursing school. She became a nurse. And
That's awesome.
yeah, dude, things were really good. And then we bought a house last June, and then ended up having our son September. And now we're here. We're here just
September. You got a tiny one at home.
Yeah, he's
6 months.
He'll be 8 months.
8 months
on the 12th.
Damn.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, just doing all that, and about 2 years ago, I started a side commercial cleaning business. So I have that I do. I still drive into the office 3 times a week. Like I was telling you earlier, it's like about an hour commute. So it's busy schedule. And then my dumbass, I ended up buying a dog like when my wife was pregnant, like right before she gave birth. So that added to the craziness around here. It was a Connie Corso, and I underestimated
Okay.
I underestimated how much work he was going to be. And I know everyone like with that breed, I know it's a lot. That dog is a lot of work. I was like, I got this. But he's been a lot. He has been a lot. So he's driving my wife crazy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my house is like a mini Noah's Ark. I got 2 kids, 2 dogs, 2 cats.
Oh, nice. She wants a cat. She really wants a cat. She's pushing heavy for it, and I'm really against them. But I was like, you know what? If it's gonna make you less, with your postpartum and the depression, like, let's do it. Get a fucking cat.
Cats are cool. I love cats. The cats love me.
Yeah.
Like I learned how to treat women as you treat them like a cat.
I like that.
When they come around, you give them attention. When they don't want to, bye, go do your thing.
That is a good point. That is a good point.
But I don't know. I love cats.
Yeah.
She takes care of the litter boxes.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Oh no.
And we sprung the money a while back and got one of those. I forget what it's an automatic one. So it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, that was like one of the stipulations for me with the dog is like he's all your responsibility. So if she gets the cat, it's like, yeah, that's gonna be your responsibility too. So yeah, man, that's where we're at, and I'm just trying to do my best every day. Make sure I'm showing up for everyone, and trying to practice everything. All our principles and all our affairs.
You got a pretty good story. That's. I'm glad to have heard it, and I'm honored that you told it to me.
I'm honored that you asked me to come on, man. I really appreciate it.
Tell me about the social media. What's sober dad Nick? Is there a goal behind there? Is the story behind there? Or are you just sharing your life with the world?
So the goal behind that was, so I originally got into a mentorship for social media, and it was geared around like selling digital products. I was under a different understanding of what the program was going to be and exactly what products we would be selling. Essentially, like at the end of my time with the mentorship, I was supposed to build out, I guess, something like if I wasn't going to sell their product, I needed to build something out for myself to promote and sell. But being in our community, like I just didn't feel right. Like something that I've gained and that I got through my own like work and that was freely given to me. Like I'm not going to turn around and like sell that, and or use that knowledge to make a financial gain off of it. So I'm kind of just like in a weird, I guess, position. Not weird. Like I love the social media profile or that I've been able to create. Right now it's just about like just fucking getting the message out, for me.
Cool.
If I can help out people, there's been a lot of individuals that have reached out with different, different questions, have asked a lot of advice. And I created a free ebook. It's about 14 pages,
Nice.
that I give. Like if anybody, like I'll sometimes put tags that say like DM me the word now. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people have done that, and it's something that I built that just kind of has my story at the beginning, and then gives you like three different pillars that like worked for me, and that I had to learn the hard way, and kind of puts it on paper for
Okay.
somebody to read and maybe like get a foundation and kind of understanding of like, okay, these are kind of like the principles of like how I probably should be, attacking or approaching my life,
Mm-hmm.
and then leave it to them, so
Yeah.
yeah. So right now it's just about helping people. Honestly, the profile is
Right on,
just about
man.
building a community, and trying to inspire and give hope to other people. And that's the thing. Like when people reach out or comment and say like, "Man, I was gonna drink today, but then I came across your reel," like that shit touches me so bad. Like,
Yep.
it throws so much fuel into my fire. Like, yeah, I like there's it's weird. It's like the cliche. Like if anything, if this helps one person, like then it's worth it.
Yep.
So that's what I'm doing now, and
Yeah.
then let go, let God. Like I'm sure there's gonna be something down the line that like, hey, like thank God I started this, a year ago. Like
Mm-hmm.
something really really good's coming. Other than helping people, if there's something down the line, that happens, then great. But so
That's awesome, man.
yeah, what about you?
I
With your
respect you for that.
I appreciate it. What about you
So
with yours?
mine is mine. I started building this because I'm I'm still crazy. I'm still like whatever. I'm one of those dare me to not to guys, and I'll do
Yeah,
it. So that's where the name "Hold My NA Beer" comes
yeah, I
from.
love it. I
Like,
love that handle.
watch,
That's great. It was great.
hold my NA beer, watch me.
Yeah,
I mean, I skateboarded for many years. I've jumped out of planes a few times. I love going cliff jumping into water. It's like I love that kind of stuff. I'm a
yeah.
total adrenaline junkie. Um, so I wanted to be able to use all of my past
Hmm.
damage, learning, and experience to help others.
Yeah.
Again, if I can help one person, then all of my damage and the fact that I've lived through it is a
Hmm.
blessing twice over.
Exactly.
Um, I do sobriety coaching. I also
Hmm.
sponsor people.
Yeah.
I have, to me, there is a separation between the two. They're very parallel, but they are two different things.
Hmm.
Um, and we can get into that too if you want. But the mode of my social media is to get my message out there, tell my
Yeah.
story, put the podcast out there as well.
Yeah.
And if people reach out to me, I also have an ebook or a 30-day guide, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then my coaching program is 90 days or further if people want it. I'm
Yeah.
coaching a few guys right now. This one he just put together. I've been coaching him for a few months, and he just finally got, I believe, last time I talked was 6 days. He should have 7, and he's on a really good roll. I think something's turned a quarter. And then another guy who was having some troubles personally and with his wife and with his kids. And he reached out to me. He actually met me through another friend at church, and I started working with him. And when I met him, he already had 25 days. So now he's like 45, 50 days. And
That's awesome.
it's so interesting, sponsoring people and taking them through the book and taking them through the meetings, and then coaching people because they've reached out to me. They've
Yeah.
invested in me to
Yeah.
work directly with
Yeah.
them. And it's total different. Like
Yeah.
hearing my problems through somebody else's words, through their story, and being able to look at it objectively and walk them through it.
Yeah. No,
It's
definitely.
awesome.
No, I'm not like one of those ones like those crazy AA Bible thumping like,
Yeah.
oh no, fuck you for doing
Yeah.
that or coaching or stuff. Because I have other friends that do the
Yeah.
coaching. It's just like a personal thing for me. I think
Yeah.
and if I could figure out like how to navigate that, like how you have, then yeah, it
Yeah.
would be something I would totally be interested in doing. I just don't know. I think how to go about it. So, but yeah, no, that, and if I offended you, I didn't mean anything by it.
No, not at all.
Okay,
Dude,
good.
my stepdad was a cop and an undercover drug narc for 23 years.
Okay.
I've worked in kitchens for 27 years. You couldn't offend me if you tried.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I
I
always
got
say
pretty
like,
thick skin.
yeah. So same here. Like I was raised by an angry German Irish who fucking worked nights his entire life, so he had no patience for anybody. So,
Yep.
um, but yeah, no, that's fucking cool. And I think like too, honestly, like with the coaching aspect of it, it makes sense because it's like when you invest in like fitness programs and all these other guys on social media, it's like you're making an investment in yourself, not only to your coach, obviously, like you're investing in them to like show you things, but it's like you're making the investment in yourself. And I think that too, like just talking about it, like that's kind of maybe almost a better approach on trying to get sober, because it's like, I don't know, you're the traditional way, you're doing it just for you, right? Like you're doing it,
Yeah.
but and you only have yourself to really hold yourself accountable. Like if you have one of those like tough nose sponsors that's like, I'm not gonna fucking hold your hand, like I'll walk you, but it's your program, Nick. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
fucking tell me that we're meeting on this day. You're gonna tell me we're reading out, like, you know what I mean? Like you need to show up for yourself.
Yep.
So it's like I can see, like, for me personally, like if I was to invest in a program or a coaching, like, yeah, I put the fucking money, like I'm going all in, you know? So
It's
yeah, it makes sense.
to me, it's a different kind of investment. I mean, the way that I look at it is if somebody sponsors me, they have come to complete surrender and they want me to walk them through the AA book and show them my experience, walk them through the 12 steps. I love doing that. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
To me, the AA route is much more about surrender.
Yeah.
The coaching route, when people seek me out for coaching, that is, I am making an investment on you to work directly with me. Yes, AA comes into that, but that is not the only scope of how I look at it.
Yeah.
I started doing a lot of research into psychological effects of this, like muscular effects. How does the diet work with this? And are you familiar with NLP, neuro-linguistic programming?
I've heard
so,
of it.
Not too familiar. Understanding, like, look at an action, like a reaction, as the top of a ladder, and the very, very beginning of that thought pattern or behavior is the bottom of the ladder. Everything that leads up to that is the rungs. So this is the most dumbed down way to explain it, and there's a lot more to it, but you want to change that final outcome.
Yeah.
So where can we change that along the rungs? So yeah. I look at all of that, and I work with a therapist myself. Like I invest in therapy, I invest in mentorship, and that's what I look at this as.
Yeah.
To me, they're both very parallel, but I put a lot more outside influential work into my coaching because that's what people have hired me to do. Then I strictly hold to the book and my experience, strength, and hope through that, and carry my message to the next person. So,
no, that's great. Yeah, I think, and I think that maybe that might be too, like during the mentorship for the social media, digital arbitrage that I was doing. It's like that was why I have that handle, like sober life coach, because I thought maybe potentially down the line that would be something I wanted to get into. Just because, like you, like with our experiences, and like there's a lot of stuff that I've gone through that I could help somebody else avoid, and or maybe learn to navigate, like, you know, with a handheld, like a holding their hand through it, you know, kind of deal. Like, hey, don't do this. Like I had to learn the fucking hard way, you know, because like with my story, it's like I lost house, I lost trucks, I lost my freedom, and you know, I still was out there running and gunning, and it wasn't until I lost my family, you know, that I woke the fuck up. So, if I can help somebody avoid all that, like, it's like you said, it's worth something.
Yeah.
So
that's I again, dude, I very much appreciate you coming on here. I'm very, very honored and blessed to hear your story.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, thank you. I want to hear your whole story one day too. So we'll have to
The first episode of the podcast is a lot of back and forth between my brother because I was still figuring out what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
But I think down the road, I may do like a full just rant beginning to end of my story, like a solo podcast. I might do that. I might have to just because obviously I'm chopping it up and I'm hearing other people's stories. Eventually, hopefully, my following of listeners will want to hear my story, and I'm glad to tell it. I have absolutely no shame.
No, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So that was like one of my things too. Before I started,
go for it.
I was sorry. I was just saying, like, when I started sharing on social media, I was like, I wonder how I would want to tell. I want people to like hear my story to maybe if they can relate to it. And I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'll do like cut it up into parts. And then like people started asking me to come on their podcast. So it's been a blessing, man. I'm really very grateful that I decided to like get into this whole social media thing. So it's been great.
You do a wonderful job, man. I'm inspired, and that's why I started following you, and I'm glad we got to talking.
Yeah, dude. It's if anything, like the whole birthday, having the same birthday, that's wild.
Yeah, no, it was that 18 months. So I had gone out, and I was like, I'd stop at the liquor store and get like a bunch of little airplane bottles before I even got home and drink like 3 of them and throw them in the dumpster behind the liquor store so I didn't have to hide them. And then I drink 2 more and throw them in the trash can on the way up to the apartment that was outside so you didn't have to find them. So I was 5 drinks deep before I even got in the door from work, and I'd have 2 more in my pockets. And we'd go down to the bar, and I'd go out for a cigarette because you couldn't smoke in the bars anymore. And I'd take 2 shots and then walk back into the bar and just sip the drink with everybody else.
Yeah.
And that I'd kind of calmed down for like 2 days or so before my belly button birthday and just got absolutely fucking blackout wasted. There's pictures of my shoe in somebody else's mouth at the bar. And like, I ate a steak and I don't even remember it. I tried to get into a fight with a homeless dude and just for the sake of fighting. Like, and then the next morning, my girl at the time, who was my wife of 6 months, which Vegas wouldn't let us get it annulled. That was one of those, let's get married tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. And it lasted 6 months. But yeah, she's like, we can't do this anymore. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. I was just sober. Now it's 6 months and here's where I'm at. Yeah. So I don't count the 30th because I went to the or the 29th because I went to the liquor store and had a couple shots just to like kill the shakes. Yeah. Yeah. I count the 30th as my first full day without booze.
That's awesome. And how much time had you had?
12 and a half years. So 12 years as of October 30th.
That's awesome, dude. Congrats.
Yeah, thanks. I mean,
about to be a teenager.
Check out some of my posts. My story has gone quite down many, many roads. 3 DUIs. On the 3rd one, I was sleeping in my car at the Hard Rock Hotel in Vegas the night before I was supposed to leave for the Army. And then a cop knocks on my door and I said, fuck off. And then he ripped me out of the car and I tried to fight 3 cops at the same time. Yeah. And then they finally got me down and had a knee on the back of my head and said, stop resisting. I said, how the fuck am I resisting? You're on top of me. Yeah. I mean, I went down the road of blow all the way down to the needle and I OD'd probably a couple times. I don't know.
I heard that on one of your,
yeah.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
I stopped shooting up a couple 3 weeks after my last OD because I literally fish flopped on my own kitchen floor. Wow. And then came out of it. I don't know how long I was doing it, but I was conscious, just not in control of my body. So I slammed and then just like totally fish flopped. And then the next night, the funny thing is I'd got it from the same dude. It was just a little bit better this time. So I did the same amount and then that happened. And then the next night I literally asked my roommate, he's like, hey, I'm going to head out. And I was like, hey, I'm going to slam down really quick. Do you mind hanging out? I had a little rough night last night and I just want to make sure I don't go too far. Somebody's here. So I literally asked my roommate to make sure I didn't accidentally kill myself before, like while I was trying to get high. Jesus. And it didn't click right then. Like 2 or 3 weeks later, it clicked that I had asked somebody that.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, maybe I'm done.
Maybe it's time.
I mean, I did it. I snorted it a few times for probably a couple of years after that, but I never shot again.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you heard of Mike, the Situation from the Jersey Shore? Have you heard his story before? Yeah, I think he's got a handful of years sober, but he never slammed, but he tells a really good story about his spiritual awakening in the restroom. Like he was in the bathroom about to slam for the first time.
Yeah.
And he just had like a epiphany and was able to get sober after that. Because he was addicted to prescriptions and stuff. So he's got a pretty gnarly story.
I had my pill times and all of that. Funny thing is, the guy who got me to start slamming, we lost touch after like that DUI, and like I had lost touch with him. He was in the pill game and doing blow and stuff, and he's an ex bodybuilder. And then I went down the alcohol road. Like a week ago today, he found me on Facebook.
Oh shit!
I thought the dude was dead. Yeah, honestly, I figured he would be dead, and he probably thought the same about me.
He had to be.
But he's like 12 years sober now, lives in Vegas, owns a business. He's getting a degree in psychology of addiction and stuff.
That's so fucking cool.
So dude, I'm gonna get him on the podcast soon. I'm like, that's so crazy.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The gifts is
all right, man. Yes, they keep coming. So tell everybody where to find you on social media, because I want to blast this out.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Instagram, it's just Sober Dad Nick. Just no spaces, nothing crazy. Sober Dad Nick. And reach out if you guys ever need anything, need to talk, anything. It's a privilege and to be able to help and share. And don't drink.
Right? Don't drink. Don't do drugs. They're bad. Okay.
Well,
thank you everybody for listening. Thank you everybody for listening to episode 5 with Sober Dad Nick of the Crash Podcast. Nick told you where to find him. Please go follow him. He's got some awesome posts and a great story. I hope if you're listening to this, you know where to find me. It's Hold My NA Beer on Facebook, on Instagram, Hold My NA Beer on YouTube. And you can find the podcast now that I've actually started putting them out. Spotify, Amazon Music, I think Apple Music. I got to check that one. And YouTube and Audible. Awesome. And if you would like help, reach out to Nick. He has a blueprint. Reach out to me. I have a 30-day reset guide, and I am absolutely open to coaching and or sponsorship. And if you just want to check out something anonymously, go to holdmynabeer.com. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
peace.
Guys. Appreciate you, man.